Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Keo, and today I wanted to talk about what it takes to be a DJ in 2020, 21. Before we get into that, please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, help a boy out with the algorithm. And if you want to support the channel, let some of these ads play, damn it. I also have a t shirt shop, so if you want to support the channel, you can buy something from my shop. And all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So I saw this on Instagram the other day, and I thought this is really fascinating because, um, and I saw this exact same thing happen in the music business. I've been a producer for a bunch of years, probably the same amount of years, actually a little bit longer than DJing. And when we used to shop artists or produce songs for artists, whatever, I used to see record companies didn't want to put an artist out because they're like, well, we got to get their buzz up. When I got into the music industry way, way back in the day, the artists had a advertising group that they used to talk to at the label, and they're the ones that set up all these interviews for you. There's the one that set up a photo shoot, make sure all your pictures are right. Made sure that you talk to the right DJs that could play stuff for you, whatever. They did all the things that you don't know because when you were being an artist back in the day, your job was to be an artist. And so we have a lot of musicians and people that they can't focus on their craft, so that's why their craft is terrible right now. And so they used to spend 100% effort learning to play piano, learning to sing, doing vocal training, whatever the thing is, whatever for your thing is. And they dabbled a little bit in the creativity side of it, but the bulk of it was really being an artist, making quality music, putting together a really good solid album. Now, I would say that's maybe 10, 20% of what it takes to be an artist now is the actual music part. Mostly it's your networking, how many followers you have on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram. People are more focused on, you know, how many people you can bring out to a concert, or if you're influential, are people following your trends? If you got a weird haircut, are other people going out and getting a haircut like you? Are they wearing your color schemes? Like there's a singer named Ava Max, and she has half of her hair cut off. So like this side's cut off, the other side's long, and people are starting to get their hair cut now. Are you a cultural impact to your audience? That's what record companies are looking for. And I don't want to spill the beans here, but while I was there shopping music and producing stuff for artists, they used to pretend that these rappers, and that's primarily what music I used to deal with was rap music. They used to pretend like the rappers were on the grind hustling and they just discovered like, oh my God, look at this rapper. But they were actually signed for like 2, 3 years and they couldn't figure out what to do with them. And so they had to reinvent the artist and try and position them as this phenomenon in the streets. And then they pretend like they did a full record. The music industry is just shady. I could do hours upon hours, and I could probably have some really good interviews with people just spilling the beans. But anyways, my point was is that DJs have jobs outside of just playing two songs together. And so people, you have to get in a good spot like a residency, or you need a good manager, or you have to spend all your time on YouTube and Instagram or whatever, or Twitch or whatever, just to find some new followers to come out to your events. Well, back in the day when you used to do events, we used to do. You have to do more now, whereas you could just focus on being a good DJ. I think it's kind of a disservice to the industry because we're gonna get worse and worse and worse people being more and more popular, just demeaning what the thing is to be. And then I don't want to be elitist DJ because I think I'm a middle of the road DJ. I think I'm okay because I'm focusing on all this other stuff. But if okay is here, what's going to be down here now that everybody's spending 100% of their time on Instagram or their Twitch channel or whatever? and they're not really DJing anymore or learning how to scratch or learning how to blend or whatever. Because let's be real here, a lot of this gear does most of the heavy lifting for you. Tractor, Serato, Record Box, Virtual DJ, they all tell you what songs are in key. They all got BPMs. They all have some kind of sync method for you to match the songs together. It doesn't take a lot to be a DJ anymore. The biggest thing for now to be a DJ is your song selection, and you can just steal that off of somebody else's mix. So realistically, dark times ahead. Anyways, let's talk about the jobs that DJs have to have now to break into the industry. And some of these are I agree with. Some of them are kind of like I got this from Instagram. First job is producer, and I agree with this to some degree. If you're doing dance music, you have to be a producer. You have to be a producer first, and then DJ is secondary to you. If you're playing, you know, rap music or trap, whatever, being a producer is helpful, but not that big a deal. It definitely depends on the industry that you're trying to get into, where you're trying to play, what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be a wedding DJ, producing is irrelevant to you. It'll be helpful if you can fix your own songs and make edits for stuff, whatever on your own, or fix intros to add like a 4 bar intro, whatever. That's helpful. And as a producer, you can do these things yourself. You don't need a DJ pool to do it for you. But I don't think that's necessarily a thing that you have to have as a DJ. The other staff, yes. All right. Label owner, I think this is also depends on what type of music you're going to do. I think this is probably like a 50-50 shift between dance music and top 40 pop music, that kind of stuff. A label owner, if you're trying to expand out of your core thing and put other people out, then yes, I think that matters a lot. I dabble in that. Harder than it looks. I'll put it like that. It is harder than it looks. But again, I think this is really up to the what kind of music you're trying to play and what you're trying to do as a DJ. Public relations manager. This is a yes for everybody across the board. You're gonna have to learn this stuff. If you have a wedding and the wedding goes bad, you're gonna need to be a public relations manager. If you're doing corporate stuff and you got to deal with complaints, or you got to talk your way into the gig or whatever, public relations manager. uh Playing in festivals, you're gonna have to do a lot of this stuff yourself. Now, a lot of these things can be mitigated if you get a good manager, but a lot of people don't want to give a cut 30% or whatever to another person, because you're already razor thin margins right now until you're at the top of the pyramid, like a Tiesto or Lil Jon or wherever your music is. Like, you're you're at the bottom here, and you got to cut corners here to get to make a profit from all the equipment you invested, from the lights, the rentals, doing the whole DJ booth, all that stuff. That costs money. When you're a mobile DJ and you have to go out and buy speakers or rent them and a proper lighting system, whatever, all that cuts into your thing. If you have a good place to rent, say you're making, like, you're new starting off and you're making maybe 500-600 bucks. 150 of that is going to be rentals. Maybe $200 of that is maybe rentals to do a good proper show. So, you're going to come out of that at the end of the day, maybe 400 bucks, maybe less. Uh, and then add on to paying somebody else to go get the gig for you. It's going to start adding up, and you're just going to, as I'm saying, you're going to have to make these choices yourself. All right. Booking agent, revert to number 3. I think this applies to when you start having other people do a lot of the work for you, which is why a lot of people spend all their time on Instagram and Twitter and this kind of stuff to get business, because once you get a manager, a booking agent, all these things, they start adding up. And you got to rent gear, whatever, get a venue. If you're booking the venue yourself, like, it starts adding up. I did a party at this club one time, and so it cost me $1,000 to rent the place. I had to pay for security. I had to pay for ticket person at the door. I also had to pay if I didn't get enough money at the bar. There was also a fee on top of that where I had to make the difference so the bartenders would get money and they could pay off the bar backs and servers and all this other stuff so they can get something out of it. So it ended up costing me a lot of money and I did not break even. I took a L that night. I got a decent amount of people there, but like it's just all the costs that you add onto the top, and then you start to doing your profit. You have to make a certain amount, and the my issue was I picked too big of a venue, so my fees were a little too expensive for security and all this other stuff. So that was my fault personally. I thought I could fill it. I honestly did. And that's ego back there. So when you go through this stuff, you got to look at it on your end. You have to remove all of these factors for how much money is going to cut into your paycheck. Now, some new DJs or whatever, they're happy to take $150 and go home and not think twice about this. If you've been doing it for a long time and you got bills and a mortgage, $150 is not going to cover it. All right, next thing up, graphic designer. I agree with this as well. You're gonna have to start making your own merch. You gotta start marketing yourself. You can pay somebody on Fiverr or whatever to come up with a logo for you. I don't know how good it's gonna be, but there's avenues for you to deal with this stuff. If you want to start selling T-shirts, whatever, you gotta come up with your own designs, or you can pay people to make it up for you. Graphic designer stuff, yes, you're gonna need to come up with a logo and some kind of design for your name, your DJ name, how to brand yourself, business cards, website, all that kind of stuff. Which gets to my next thing, web programmer. Again, these are things you can pay, but if you do it yourself, you're taking time out of your day where you could be promoting yourself or practicing or getting business. And it just, these things is chop into your business. And I think it's taking a toll, honestly. Honestly, it's taking a toll. All right. Social media networker is the next one. And this one I agree with as well. Everybody's on Instagram, everybody's on Twitch or Mixcloud or SoundCloud or something. Everybody's on there. Everybody's trying to get followers. Uh, I went the YouTube route, but not so much to get uh, business for my business. Before 2020, I was secure in my business model. My business model is dead and buried right now. But so, now I'm looking in, okay, well, now I got to go get clients again from scratch. So everybody's at ground zero again. I had a bunch of weddings booked. I had corporate stuff booked, all out the window. Um, I don't even know if people are still working at these companies again. I started doing feelers, just checking like, hey, how's your year going? Like, you gotta start reaching out to people because once they start hitting the shots and this other stuff, business may come back. I don't know. Depends. But so social media, everybody has all of these other places to get to you. And I think is a factor that DJs have to do this stuff. Whereas honestly, you could just build a name in your neighborhood and that was enough to carry over. Or you could just send out a tape to somebody, this is my mix, or record it or camera or whatever. And people are like, that guy's pretty good. He handles the mic good. So, all right, we'll book him for something. A lot of my business came from word of mouth. I did an event. I passed out business cards to every breathing person that was in there. They were like, hey, book this guy for a wedding, book this guy for a boat cruise, or book this guy for whatever. And that's how I got a lot of my work just from that thing alone. Making the business cards was a huge factor for me because a lot of people were like, hey, I want to get you for something. And you're like, well, I don't have, I could text you when they're not going to remember your number. Like, just flat out, they're not going to remember your number. Girls think you're hitting on them. Like, it's just a mess, man. We hit them with a business card, like, here you go. It's my number. Here's my website. You can follow me on Instagram here. Here's my YouTube channel, or this is my tree thing where you just see all my links all in one place. You have to treat it like, people who do cold calling and this kind of thing where They're hitting 50 people a day. Like that's how you have to treat DJing at this point to get back into the game of getting clients again for whatever's coming up for the Great Depression 2021. Like, you're gonna have to hit the ground running, man. You're gonna have to do all this stuff, myself included. Like, I'm not exempt. I don't think I'm gonna have a business to come to for my business model, and like, I just started reaching out to stuff, and I'm looking at getting a manager again. Like, honestly, like we're gonna see. 2021 is gonna be interesting. Merchandising hero. People that help you sell your shirts, your stickers, or whatever you're selling. These are things that take away from your day of you practicing the mix, and you putting together your new playlist, and you getting discovering new music. All this stuff, that alone is a full time job. Entertainer. This is the next one. I am guilty of this a lot of times. Like I like to keep my head down, play music. I talk in the microphone a little bit, but I'm not one of those guys like, yo, everybody put your hands in the air. Like I don't like doing that. I think it takes away from the music. I think the playlist and how I put the songs together, and how I cut things together, and all that stuff I do, I think that has a better value than me yelling on the mic every 5 minutes. But it depends on the person, depends on the crowd, depends on the age group. I talk like if I'm doing a wedding, I talk a little bit more than when I'm doing corporate. Corporate, I'm just straight, yo, here's this banger, everybody get on the floor. And I'm just gonna do this all night. For weddings, you gotta do like, hey, where's the bride at? Like you gotta do that stuff. And some people hate it. I personally I hate it. I'm naturally a quiet person. Like if you see me like at an event or a party, whatever, I'm just chilling. Like my demeanor on these videos is my demeanor in real life. Like I'm just chilling. I'm listening, I'm vibing out, I'm networking, but I'm not the one like, yo, everybody, like I'm not the center of attention like that. And I have friends that like I carry with me to do events. Now I'll be like, yo, you hop on the mic and do that stuff. It's just easier. Yo, slide them $100 and some free beers or whatever, they're good to go. Like they're golden. Uh, but like, yeah, I have friends like I rather them do that than me. And I've done events and corporate stuff where I'm just DJing straight, and my friend, he's really good on the mic, and he does that kind of stuff. He's also a good DJ, but like there's a trade off when you're focusing on the mix and what you're trying to do, whatever. It's a trade off from you talking. I think people who talk more have all of this stuff lined up, unless you're a reggae DJ and you're playing dub plates. Like that's the whole other thing. Reggae DJs have the gift of hyping a party and playing music at the same time, 40 different rhythms for a song, and they can do that. That's a gift in itself. Um, I don't have that gift. I'm a disgrace. I'm a disgrace to all Jamaicans everywhere, but I just don't have that gift. Like it's not in me. I know it's not in me. And the soca side of my family, they're like, dude, come on. I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. That's a whole other side topic. But you have to be an entertainer and hype up your crowd now. You have to make it more entertaining. Like I've done bar mitzvahs, and yo, you gotta be like, hey kids, let's gather around. We're gonna do some games. Like now it's like bar mitzvahs, not just here's some pot top 40. Shout out to this young man. He's a man right now. Yada yada yada. Peace out. That is not the case. Bar mitzvahs, you're putting in some work. You are on the floor playing games, man. Uh, I think is if you're gonna do bar mitzvahs, is better, and bat mitzvahs too. It is better as a two-man job. Entertainer, man. You need to be entertainer, and it's bigger than yelling on the microphone and put your hands in the air or everybody it's time to dance. It's just more than that. If you can't do it on your own, pay somebody to help you do it. But you have to do that. And the last job that you have to do is DJ. And I think at this point, the mixing and putting the music together probably gets the least help out of this thing. Honestly, you this probably gets the least effort because when I look at people, most people are making stories on Instagram and are producing or trying to fix their website, like all this other stuff. and the job of just playing some music is few and far between, which is why I think doing a mix, even if it's once a week or whatever, is just helpful. And doing a mix for different genres of music is big in my eyes. A lot of these times with this music is straightforward. You can just pop in the next song or similar enough. It's not that big a deal. But covering all the different genres, especially if you're a mobile DJ or you play out whatever, if you can cover all the genres, you got your funk mix, you got your 70s disco thing, you got your 80s, you got your like old school rap, you got your trap, you got your top 40, like you got all of these mixes set up ready for this, and then you can cue back to them anytime you need it, and it'll save your life. Anyways, this is a list of jobs that I think DJs have to have in 2021 going forward. Let me know what you guys think about this list. How true is it? How BS is it? And leave a comment below. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and peace out, bitches.